GBNews, and it's time for the latest Sussex spin-off. Yes, the rival Royal Road Show, as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have announced their first non-official royal tour of Nigeria. Everyone's favourite couple have been invited by Nigeria's Chief of Defence Staff to take part in cultural activities, and their upcoming trip is linked to their work with the Invictus Games. As they are expected to meet military servicemen and women, Meghan is particularly excited as she revealed, several times actually, that she is 43% Nigerian. But in true Sussex style, there are those who are not a fan of their decision, with some royal experts accusing the couple of trying to have their cake and eat it as they play the royal card. And a surprise update from another royal tonight as well. The Duchess of Edinburgh has become the first member of the royal family to visit Ukraine since Russia's invasion. So there we go, some stuff there about the Duchess of Edinburgh. Joining me now is editor-at-large at the Mail on Sunday, Charlotte Griffiths. Charlotte, thank you very, very much. Right then, what's going on here with this fake royal tour of Nigeria? Are they trying to get a one-up on the royal family somehow?
Of course they are. They never do anything but try and get a one-up on the royal family. But I think what they're really doing is that on paper they're trying to celebrate 10 years of Invictus Games, and Nigeria are set to host it in the future and are trying to woo them so that they can host it in the future. So that's the official reason. But let's face it, the real reason is because they need content for Netflix. They want to appear as quasi-royals. They want to carry on conducting quasi-tours as if they're still members of the royal family. You know, and I think the fact they're going to a Commonwealth country, when they describe the Commonwealth as Empire 2.0, is a little bit rich, and it's just a real shame because, you know, she had an opportunity to actually be really important in the Commonwealth when she was a member of the royal family. And this was an honour bestowed upon her by the Queen. But she turned her back on that, and now she's going to go to Nigeria, and I just hope she doesn't drip poison in their ears about our royal family.
Well, Harry has gone on record essentially saying we can't move forward here before we apologise or any of that stuff. So I would imagine, is Harry on an international simping tour here to Nigeria?
Yeah, it's all really incendiary stuff, you know, and it is a diplomatic situation he's wading into. Completely unguarded, unscripted. I mean, you know...
Uneducated, probably.
Uneducated. I mean, that's actually a really good point, you know. He makes huge clangers all the time. I just think the royal family right now, they think, really rolling their eyes, but also more seriously, genuinely a bit worried about this. You know, it could be a disaster. I wondered about whether or not they're keen to have a contrast between when William and Kate were quite poorly received in the Caribbean, OK, and the optics of that, and now whether they're going to get, you know, a different reception in Nigeria that might make them look great. Yeah, I think Meghan and Harry will get stuck in on the ground, as it were. So Kate and William were standing in an open-top car in sort of, you know, William was wearing military uniform and, of course, the shaking the hands through the fence. So, and that was choreographed. And to be honest, the Queen actually influenced a lot of that. So I feel a bit bad for William and Kate because she wanted to sort of recreate that sort of 50s iconic moment. Anyway, so of course Meghan and Harry will have learnt from that and will not do that. And if anything, will try and probably stir up that memory. I think that's a really good point. And make themselves look like they're sort of the people. And Meghan is very keen to tell as many people as possible that she's 43% Nigerian. So she'll be making that point a few times, I would have thought. Yeah,
she will, and she indeed has done. So you think this is basically just a content-gathering situation. Harry is himself coming to the UK. She's not coming with him. So some people would argue she's not actually here for the stuff that really matters. If it is all for the Invictus Games, why isn't she coming with him here to this country?
Yeah, I think she's not coming because she knows she'll get booed or get a bad reception. But it's so sad. I think she should support Harry because he'll be so lonely there. We know that no senior members of the royal family are going to be there, of course. I mean, it's sort of a given, but also I think that it's going to be really stark. You know, that's where his parents got married. It's going to be a very sombre and senior
What is
event.
this for? Just remind our viewers and listeners, there's an event, is it at St Paul's?
So it's at St Paul's Cathedral to commemorate, you know, to mark 10 years of Invictus Games. So it's really important. It's really important, you know, part of Harry's sort of soul, really, and exactly the kind of thing he'd want his wife, maybe even his kids, by his side for. But Meghan is leaving him alone, and I think he's going to cast a really lonely portrait of a man without his friends around him, without his family, and without senior members of the royal family, and no wife there with him.
Apparently they're saying that no senior members of the royal family have got plans to see him at all. I mean, he could be here for as long as a week. It remains to be seen, but he could be here for around a week, and apparently none of them want to see him.
No, and he's staying in a hotel. He's not staying in a royal residence. I don't think he'll be here for a week. I think he'll be here a couple of days. I mean, honestly, I actually just don't think Meghan lets him out of her sight that often, for that long. I think a couple of days is all he'll manage. He may try and catch a friend while he's here, but he doesn't always do that anymore. You know, last time he was here in February, he turned it around within hours. And then he'll fly off to Nigeria, where he'll be joined by Meghan. So she will be, you know, in Montecito, prepping her outfits and getting all ready for this show-stopping tour, but she didn't join him, as you say, for the bit that it really mattered.
Yeah, I just find that absolutely remarkable. Look, obviously, I think, well, this is a genuine point, I do think that the Invictus Games is actually, like, a great thing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it really is something that Harry has done incredibly well, actually. And I just wonder if it just appears to me that, you know, she's tagging along with him for the Nigeria bit, and that's great. But, you know, is she really willing to support him when he comes back to the UK for the difficult bit? He supported her through the difficult bit. He behaved like a lapdog during Oprah and all of that.
Yeah, and it will be difficult for her. If she was to come to the UK, it would be really difficult. It would bring up terrible memories of the past for her and awkward moments when she was in various, you know, churches and things. But, you know, she's a strong and tough woman. We know that about her, and she's always telling us how brave she is. So if I were her, I would. I'd be brave and walk up those steps. It would look great for her Netflix show anyway. So, you know.
You could spin that a million different ways, absolutely. Charlotte, thank you very much. Great stuff. That's Charlotte Griffiths, the editor-at-large at The Mail on Sunday. Look,